Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Comment, like, and subscribe without smashing anything. And let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Leo. Leo, it is your turn. Your message already looks a little bit different than what we've been getting, which is kind of a good thing. But it's coming off a little strange. Expand your consciousness and all things will be added. Law of Tithing. See, a lot of the messages that we get on this channel are kind of like, hey, you know, you were supposed to go through this. You set this up for yourself. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about free will, but we also talk about, you know, like lessons that we wanted to learn that we chose. Huh. Okay. Still not really giving me everything I want here. All right, let's pull the other cards. We got our heart on the table, we have strategy, we have community. Expansion, good luck, and fated meeting upside down. 10 of Cups upside down. I'm really getting like a strong like free will like message off of this, which is interesting because I've always wondered a little bit how much we can really change what we've chosen for ourselves. Like just change it, you know, and not like in any way that's like toxic. Like, let's say we chose to go through a certain lesson in love, let's say, because our heart chakra is on the table. And the friends are on the table too. You know, this could be like the love of friends or whatever, a really good friend or family. But let's say we were supposed to go through a situation and we were supposed to learn about love, some lesson we were supposed to learn about love. But we choose not to be with that person. We just choose not to have that experience for whatever reason. Or maybe we are with this person, but we don't give it our all or whatever's going on. Or maybe there's just another person. And as much as we're being pulled over here, we kind of run over there and decide something different. Like never experience that thing we were supposed to experience. Is it possible? Kind of thing. And I've always told myself, well, I have free will. I was promised free will. I came down here for the free will. So, you know, if I decide to do that, then, you know, my guardians or my plan or my higher self or whoever's pulling the strings up there should adjust, right? Because I have free will. But how far does it go, I always thought? Do I have to circle back around and have that experience in order to learn the thing, or can I learn the thing differently? I mean, the notion already exists that, let's say I'm supposed to have a really terrible boss or a really terrible boyfriend, but I have a really terrible boss instead, and I learned that lesson from the really terrible boss. I feel like I could totally skip that terrible boyfriend. If I've already learned this lesson and that person was just there to drive it home, then I can skip them altogether. I'm probably not even on their wavelength at the time that it's time to experience that, right? Yeah, I see someone shaking up their sitch here. They're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this, and I don't care what happens. It's a good move for you. Yeah. You have a plan, or at least an idea, right? You're not sure if it's going to work. You're kind of like, you kind of know I was going to say staring God in the face. That's not quite what I meant, but more like fate or destiny in the face. You're kind of like staring at it, kind of like you're not the boss of me kind of thing, right? And then you're being told, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then you need to think bigger. Because when you knew everything and you made this plan for yourself, you were thinking huge. And now you're changing it. This fated meeting is upside down. This wasn't necessarily planned for you. It's a possibility that it was a contingency and the plan was always there, but not thought out enough to have any like real concrete like steps to it. A possibility that you chose to follow, either because you were following your heart or just because you thought maybe that you could do it, but you weren't sure what else it was going to affect, right? It's kind of like what I said about picking this other person and then what happens to this person. A lot of people worry about stuff like that. Well, if I was supposed to be with this person and then instead I'm with that person, what happens? What happens, right? I talked about it in one of the other readings that some people need to know what happens next. So, okay, so you don't need to know what happens next. I mean, you might think you do. You might be sitting there like, no, I didn't need to know what happens next. But you actually don't. Because the issue is not what is going to happen next. The issue is speaking into making happen what happens next. You need to do that. So it's kind of like, you can't sit there and go, well, tell me what happens next, because you're supposed to create this. You're the one that walked off of whatever path you were supposed to be going to. And it's a possibility, yeah, you could circle back around, especially if you get into this and you don't learn whatever it is you were supposed to learn. And the possibility is there. I'm not sure what situation we're talking about for you. This is definitely like a Leo reading, but it's a general reading, right? So for what's happening for you might not be what's happening for someone else. It doesn't even really look like a relationship, except for the Two of Wands is here. Like sometimes for me, that's the marriage card, or like a twin flame card with abundance. So it's something that you want, right? This 10 of Cups is upside down. Usually that's happiness or abundance or no. This is here with lighten up. You're going into this sort of like with a heavy heart, right? And it's not balanced. You're not balanced. So you could go into it and be like 100% optimistic, right? Like there's just nothing bad is ever going to happen here, right? And that would, for lack of better words, for the purposes of this reading, be imbalanced, right? Or you could look at it like the totally opposite way. You can go into this thinking it's going to be terrible. It's only going to be terrible. And then you would be going into it not balanced. But that isn't what this is necessarily talking about. This is kind of talking about when you're deciding and you're thinking bigger and you're trying to go through and like believe in your good luck, that to believe in everything. Don't just pick it apart and believe that some things are possible but not others. Don't assume that you have worth in some ways but not in others. Like they're telling you to think big and look at the big picture. I feel like belief, is on the table twice. So believe in your good luck up here with this first quarter moon in Sagittarius, and then I have believe here on the table just by itself. You're being asked to fully believe in yourself and your dreams. It's time for that idea that's lived inside your heart to be brought into the world so others can benefit from it. Believe that you can bring it to life and you will do exactly that. So this might also be something that it's like your heart's desire, something that you've been bringing with you through life that maybe wasn't necessarily on the board when you were planning your life, but you don't care. But you're wondering what's gonna come back from that, what's gonna happen, like the karma from that. You feel like you're straying off some kind of path, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like some of you do anyway. And so you're not sure if you'll be rewarded for that. And they're telling you to let that go. That you are supported, and no matter what you do, you can, if you're following your heart's desire, you can follow your heart's desire all the way to the bank. There's nothing in this setup that's going to deter you or bring you down but you. And so you're being asked to lighten up. You're being asked to approach this thing with more balance and look at it differently, bigger, better, whatever it is, maybe just well-rounded from other people's point of view, something like that, right? The abundance will be there. If you make this decision and you go forward with your heart, the abundance will be there, whether or not it was fated. And to believe, like, just everything, your luck, believe that you can do this, whatever is going on. If opposition comes, keep believing that this is for you, even though it wasn't necessarily planned. You're planning it now. It counts. You have free will. Let go of this idea that you will be punished if you don't do it right or if you do the wrong thing. You won't. Especially if this is a spiritual move. Oh, I was supposed to do this with my spiritual awakening, but instead I'm doing this. Again, you are supported in whatever you want to do. You just need to figure it out, be ruthless in your decision, and you'll manifest whatever it is you want. Go forward with the belief, with the confidence, and you will be rewarded. Abundance is on the table. Your heart's on the table. I feel like love and friends are on the table. I feel like victory is on the table. But you have to have a plan. And you need to lighten up. Don't go through this with a heavy heart thinking you're doing something wrong. If you're following your desire, your heart's desire, you are never doing anything wrong. You have to always keep that in mind and believe it, know it, live it. Until we meet again, Leo.